Okay, we're live. Yes, it's Sharon Sheldon here with Sarah Arrow. And a quick note of warning, I am traveling, and where I am, the Wi-Fi is really, really bad. So you may not be able to see me, and I may have to drop off the screen or drop off audio. I don't even know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, awesome. Can you see? Good
Hello,
morning.
Susie.
Hi, Susie. Can you also see me? Or am I like pixelating?
No, you're looking good.
So, okay, good. So basically, you can't see me. It's driving you crazy. I'm pixelating. Or Susie said I'm a bit pixelated, but you can hear me. Excellent. Sarah may have to take over a lot of this. So she's in charge today. And I'm along for the ride and to answer questions from the Berkshires. But basically, what we're going to talk about today is building a curriculum, because we just launched a special offer just for a few days where you can build your own custom bundle. All right. So this is something that people have been asking for a long time, is being able to build a custom bundle of courses. So we set up a plugin to be able to do it. We had to do it around a theme. It can't be from the whole shop, but theme is something that has courses that overlap in lots of different ways, in lots of different themes. So the theme is building and growing an online business. Sarah's got the link scrolling here below, is contentspark.com/custom bundle. So you'll see that, and it's pretty simple the way it works. We have a list in there of, I think it's 28 different courses, all that are related to the skills needed to start and grow an online business. And the more you get, the bigger the discount. All right. So I want to just introduce that first. Before we get into some things, we're going to talk about why you need a curriculum, why we picked this theme, and also how to pick. So there's 28 things in there. How do you actually decide which ones to get? Because the way the discount works is you get one, you can get 30% off, get 2 to 3, and you can get 40% off. 4 to 5 courses, you get 50% off. You get 6 or more, you get 60% off. All right, so that's all clear. I don't know if I cut off at all there. Hopefully not.
No, you were
Miriam. Good. Okay, hang on a second. For some reason, I'm having trouble seeing where I can comment. Joys of the internet and traveling.
So while Sharon does that, I'm going to load up onto the screen the how to design your curriculum infographic, so you can get a broader view. So just bear with me while I do that. Oh, just about to share with you my inbox, which is a bit of a mess at the moment. So just let me know, just tap that you can see this in the comments and let me know that you can see that, and I'll just take us off screen so you can see it fully. Okay.
I can see it. The only thing you should know is I cannot reply to comments for some reason.
Okay.
So
I'm just
I don't know why, but it doesn't have a space for me to reply to comments.
Okay.
So anyway, I can reply things on screen and you bring them up. All right. Sorry for all the technical stuff. And if you're coming in late, as I said, you can, Sarah may have to take over a lot of this. My internet's really bad where I am now. All right.
Okay. All right. So if we go over onto the Content Spark site, and if you're looking for this, it's contentsparks.com/73858 design hyphen online hyphen course hyphen curriculum /. I love it when they're all short and concise. We should have pretty linked that one. We know for next time. Okay, so you can see that there's a lot of detail in this post. Now, it touches on how you can use your bundle of PLR, but I'm going to actually scroll down to the infographic because there's 5 steps that you need to sort of get aligned in your mind, ready for your bundle. And the first one is clarify who your target audience is for your bundle. Now, that may be the same audience you normally have. It may be slightly different. So if you normally have your audience as mums, this may be mums of teens, or it may be mums who've got children who are going back to school this year, because that first year is really stressful for mums and obviously for dads too. So you want to get really detailed with who your students will be. And as well as writing down their demographics, write down what their values are. So if it's a particularly religious community, you can write down that, because they might like to say things like amen at the end of posts and things like that. But if you had a religious community and you were typing down hell yeah, you're offending them. So write down what their values are, what their goals are. Is it just to get through? Because for some people, just staying focused and getting through is a huge thing right now. It may be something slightly different. So you need to make a note of what their goals are. And then their biggest challenges and what the challenge you will tackle in your curriculum. Now, we've got the theme of building and growing an online business. So we've got a really strong and popular theme for the curriculum. Then decide on your theme and your goal. And what's the main outcome for the students as they go through the curriculum? Is it going to be they're going to set up their online course and then do something else? Is it they're going to set up a business and then learn how to optimize things? So there's a huge amount in that bundle. Now, I don't think many people are going to require all 28 items, but I think there will be at least 4 that you will need to build a nice curriculum and add in what you've already got as well. Next, you've got to look at the skill gaps and identify which course topics are going to plug those gaps. Now, it may be that your people know everything about SEO, but don't know anything about some of the other things on the bundle list. And that can be simply like how to have an online store. They may know how to optimize their blog posts, but online store? No. They may not know how to test a big idea. How do they know whether their idea is a good one or a bad one? It may be they need to set up information products. That could be their flow, that they could come in, start a business step by step, then they have their online store, then they test their big idea, and then they create the information product. So there's 5 right there. Now you need to identify the gaps of your target audience who you identified in the first step. Then we have the mapping out the timing, and timing can be something that you either get really spectacularly well done or you can be a little off. But if you're delivering it evergreen, timing kind of don't really matter too much. If you are delivering it live, then timing, you have to be really, really specific with this, particularly as September is mastermind time, and you might decide that the curriculum you're going to get is going to be your mastermind program. And then, of course, you need to decide how you're going to deliver those courses. And I think I just merged that in with step 4. Yeah, the map out the timing and how you're going to deliver it. I've just merged them. Well, that saved you a whole step there. So we've touched on memberships and delivering it live, but as Sharon says in the post, not all courses have to be delivered the same way. You can have a blend of both. You don't have to have all live or all offline or all of whatever. And yes, I've added you back so I can hear you. I didn't know you disappeared. Don't do that to me.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out whether I could comment on things just by logging in, but it took me out entirely. So anyway, I'm back.
You're back.
Scott's question is directly related to what you're talking about in terms of timing. So building a value ladder is the order, right, of how you deliver things, and it's going to be different depending on your audience and on what you're doing. So we just had a question like this actually in the customer Facebook group. And there are some things that people are going to need all at once, other things that can be delivered over time, especially if you're doing a membership. If multiple courses, I do not recommend necessarily giving them one big bundle because it's overwhelming. So if you use something like that worksheet that's a blog post, it'll help you with mapping it out. All right. So I hope that helped. Jane is in Dordogne. So
yes, a very hot Dordogne.
Very hot. Dordogne.
It's been raining all day today up until 5 minutes before this live stream started, and now it's blisteringly hot. 2 days we've had rain, we've had flash floods, we've had everything. And 5 minutes before we go live, the sun comes out.
Oh, it's a sign. It's a sign.
It is a sign. It's a sign I need a curriculum, another one, because you can never have too many. So
did you talk about why a curriculum, why people need one in the first place?
No, I was saving that one for you. I was
okay.
Going through the blog post and the 5 steps, which I managed to blend step 4 and step 5 together. So,
okay. So how to actually pick what you want, but why do you want this in the first place? So why curriculum? And this is something that's a lot when we've spoken to customers who have been successful, and they all have same thing in common pretty much, which is that they have a curriculum, a series of courses that work together, not just one. And you'll hear this from Mary on Saturday in that study from Mary Diller, who has said also that she does is group coaching as a series, and she said it's actually freed up her time more to have a series, and it keeps her clients in her, whatever the word is, I can't think of it right now, in her orbit was what I was thinking of. Her orbit of influence, because they're going to be coming to you rather than somebody else. So you can have something like your main one and then have other ones that are more evergreen for people. Lots of ways to slice and dice it. But the key is when you have a series and multiple ones, you can get full-time income from having courses, online courses, and free your time, and earn more, and serve more people. So there's lots of different things that all work together. And that's why you want to do that. So you're helping more people, you're earning more, and you're getting more freedom. Sounds good, right?
That was one of the things that came up so often in the Bright Sparks interviews when we were doing them, that people did okay when they had one course, they did better when they had 2, and by the time they'd worked out that they needed a fully fledged curriculum, then things were really going well for them. So we obviously want you to be the people that have things going really well for you, which is British for super fantastic, and heaps of money that when you walk past the bank they blow a fanfare and invite you in for iced frappes and things like that. So you can't get that level of status with your bank unless you've got the curriculum and you're interacting with your students. And one of the things that always fascinates me is September seems to be mastermind season, and it's the same every September. Oh, thank you, Susie. And you have people say, I don't know what to put into a mastermind, but there's a bundle and a curriculum with 28 different things that you could choose from and do a 3-month mastermind with 4 of the programs in it. And you could actually, choose to do a year-long mastermind and have a course that you did every single month, a program with people. So you can think big with your curriculums. You can think to yourself, I could charge £5,000 or $5,000 and have people with me for a year, and I do a call with them and I deliver the training live on a weekly basis, but I will charge them $5,000 for this year-long program, and I will help them grow their businesses. And if you have 20 of those in, that's $100,000 a year, or 100,000 sterling, or 100,000 euros for Jane. So whatever currency you're in, 20 people at 5,000 makes a really good year for you. And you're not quite at the fanfare and iced frappes from the bank and the tellers going, yoo-hoo, come in here, we'd like to give you some money, but you're on the way to that level. So should we have a look at what's in the bundle? I know I skimmed through it, but should we have a look? Type in yes in the comments. Whilst you're typing in that you want to see these, Jane has done us a big question. Jane says,
oh my God.
I was thinking of running a 5-day live FB challenge and helping people plan their business with elements from how to start a home-based online business and then move them into a mastermind, starting and growing an online business. But as you just said, one of the issues I was thinking about is how much and what they need and the tech side, i.e. they may need a website in order to have a blog or a shop. I could include, but too much, and then I could filter them off to further. Okay.
That's probably where the question got too long there. But we know you, so it's okay.
I think a mastermind is a really good one with starting a business and growing your business. And something like having it as a 5-day challenge, you can identify the people who need a site and hive them off. And those that got a site are ready for your mastermind. That doesn't mean to say the people that you hive off into a little group because they need a site are neglected. You could do a VIP day with them and work through it on one day. And you could charge, say, €500 for that day and get them all done in one day. And if you've got 10 of them, that's a €5,000 day. And I think everybody would like one of those, no matter what currency it's in. And the other thing to consider is at the end of that 5-day where they've built their website with you, they may be ready for your mastermind and be with you for a longer period of time. They might not be, but you've not just neglected them, you've sorted them out in a day. And your other people, your mastermind might not start until mid-September. So you've got time to nurture them, onboard them, let them settle into their membership area, let them do their introductions and things like that before you get ready to teach and train them in the new skills that they're going to need. So you can do both, but you've got to have very specific goals for them, as in you're not going to let them go, or you are going to let them go, but you have an offer for those people. They may go into your general membership. They may go into other things. You can even outsource it. You can say, okay, then I've got my partner. He will do your site with you. And if you book up by the 10th of September, then your site will be included in your mastermind thing. So it depends on, obviously, your pricing, how long they're going to be with you, and what you actually want to do. Okay, then.
And there are elements in both of those courses where they get to a point where they need to build their website. But first they have to figure out exactly what they're going to do. So in a challenge, you would do more planning part a little bit. You don't want to be giving away how to do everything. It would be impossible in a challenge. It's more planning. And then when it gets into their course, they're going to do more groundwork to really figure out what they want and then build the website. And that'll, of course, make your job of building the website that much easier because you can't just build something, right? There's another question.
Just said, just listening, this is a powerful way to build a tribe and keep them loyal listeners while being repeat buyers. Absolutely, Scott. Yep. And before we show you the bundle, we're just going to tap into Michelle's question here. Michelle says, my problem is I excel at professional business marketing strategies and personal challenges and really don't know how to get traction. Building my website this week. Help. Okay, Michelle, if you're in the Facebook group, go in there and start getting accountable. Start telling us what you're going to do that day. Now, I don't mean you're going to build a website in a day. Be really specific and say, today I am going to speak to 3 people on LinkedIn who I think I can help. Or I'm going to speak to 3 Facebook group admins and ask them if I can do a live in their group. Start being specific and we'll keep you accountable. The getting traction comes with having conversations. You have to have the conversations to start getting and building the interest. So you've got the lead magnets, you've got the various other bits and pieces from Content Sparks. You've got ones that have got blog posts in and emails. So get up and do a live stream. You've got the content right in front of you. And by the time you've added your stories, it's a completely new piece of content. And you can talk to people who've got groups of your target audience and ask if you can come and do a presentation in the group. You may wish to do a JV webinar with some people. You might not have enough time to do that, but then again, you might. So you can gain the traction by being very specific as to who you're looking to help, how you're looking to do it, and just do one little thing at a time. Don't sit there and think, today I've got to speak in 27 groups and I've got to do this and I've got to do that and blah, 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 blah. One step at a time, baby steps. Nobody, well, aside from my eldest daughter, ever takes one step and starts running. But that was what my eldest daughter did. She stood up, stood on her feet, run. That was it. Never stopped since. Only child I've ever known. But most people, most normal people, not my eldest daughter here, don't get up and start running. They walk a bit, they find their legs, they do what they need to do, and then they build upon that. Okay, Michelle's got another comment.
Yeah, you have to get really specific, Michelle, about who your audience is, because the more specific you are, the easier it's going to be to speak them and to learn more about them and get that traction, like Sarah said, but also to build your website. So you can't just build one based on general marketing strategies and personal challenges. I'm assuming that you know your audience a bit more detailed than that so that you can add that to your branding and stuff on your website. Okay, because that's
and you've got the
essential.
Audience on LinkedIn. So if you've got your audience there, I would do a couple of videos on LinkedIn and start sending them and having the conversations with the people there to get the traction that you need. Okay, then, you've all waited long enough now. I'm going to share the screen so you can see what's inside.
Right, and we'll talk about why we picked these particular courses for the bundle and the theme. Right.
Okay, so at the top we've got the nice little bundle box there, and it starts at $47. So if you just want to build a small curriculum, you can, and that's the SEO, basic SEO and keywords, I think it is. Oh, I can't remember. We'll see when we get down there. And then there are some incredible Blaze packages. So,
can I just point out what the something about the theme on this? So you can't just pick from the whole shop. I mentioned earlier we had to make this theme based, and the theme is starting growing an online business. because this is one of the hottest topics right now. Are a lot of searches for it on the internet. There are some people who need to pivot online, who are offline, people who have lost their jobs and need to start something new, people who just work from home, who want control over their lives and their income, or just want to earn more. So a lot of people want to start an online business or grow the one that they have. But, and this is important, a lot of the courses in here overlap with other themes. So just because your audience may not want to start an online business, they may need a lot of the things. So think about works with as Sarah goes through and shows you the different ones included. Okay. And there are 28 of them. So we're not going to go through all of them.
Okay. Right. Now you need to remember this. One course is just 30% off, which isn't a huge thing. But 2 to 3 courses is 40% off, which is a real nice curriculum and a nice chunk of money off. 4 to 5 courses is 50% off, and 6 or more. So if you are thinking mastermind, you're going to need 6 minimum. Ideally, you're going to probably have around 8 to 10. So you've got 1 for each month. So you might need 6 from the bundle and a couple that you've already got to make out 8. And then you've got a month of catching up. And if you plan it for a whole year, you're going to need around 6 in there. So 1 course, 30% off, 2 to 3 courses, 40% off, 4 to 5 courses, 50% off, 6 or more, if you're really going for it, 60% off. Okay. And you know, Sharon only ever gives us that much off when they're on launch. We never get this good a deal again. So we're being spoilt this time. Sharon, are you still on screen or have you took yourself off? No, you haven't took yourself off.
I'm still here. It's just my internet. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm probably all pixelated and my head's not moving, but hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, so, I can hear you. Okay, then. Okay, so the first one is a really popular one with a lot of our bright sparks, and that's Start Your Own Business Step by Step. And this is a Blaze package, so that means it's a full funnel of content. You get your lead magnets, you get your student materials, you get your instructor materials, you get your follow-up emails, you get your blog posts to attract people in, which you can use as scripts for live streams or put them in Content Samurai and create some nice, really visual things. So there's lots and lots of gorgeous content that we can add our own brand to and customize and add in our own experiences. So this is a really good one. If you're not sure what you want to do with your curriculum, this is a really good starting point. There's, as Sharon says, lots of redundancies going about, lots of other things. Now, I don't know if in the US you get redundancy payments. Do you get that?
You mean unemployment?
No, a redundancy payment from the company who you used to work for.
Depends. It depends.
Okay. Right. So you may have people who've got a stimulus check or a redundancy payment or some savings where they can invest $297 for a start in their own business program. Don't think for 1 minute you have to sell your programs at $20 or $40 or $70. You can price them so that you earn and that you can focus on your students. From a managing it all perspective, it's better that you have 10 really engaged students at $297 than 100 at $29, although the same money is in place for 10 students versus 100, at least I think so if the maths adds up. The work involved, you're going to be run ragged running after your 100 students. It's going to be like herding cats. You don't want that. You want to be able to focus on your people, get results. So go for a nice program where you price it so that you can give time and attention to people. Now, you might be wondering how you can teach start your own business. Well, as an example, you can use your own experiences. You may have friends and relatives that have started businesses, and they can come in and share their experiences on what they wish they'd known. And you may know people who are business coaches and other things who can come in and do interviews. And one of the things that I learned from Ken Krell's interview with everybody on Content Sparks, Bright Sparks, that was it, Bright Sparks. Ken, whenever he didn't know how to do something, he got in an expert. So he didn't know how to produce podcasts. So he brought in Tracy Hazard, and I believe she does like 10 trillion podcasts. And he brought her in and she spoke to the community about producing a podcast. So don't think you have to know everything yourself. You know experts around you. You know people that can help you. So start your own business step by step is a good starting point. Then there's, ta-da, how to start a work from home business. Now, this is really topical, along with how to start.
Can I interrupt?
Of
Sorry.
course, interrupt.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Because you had a question, which is important on the start your own business. Susie said, can you just put it on screen? If you can see it. You're in different screens. So including legal, the legal is different from country to country. So the start your own business step by step has a little bit in there. It actually has a module with some tips and things that you have to do, but it doesn't give things like the actual disclosure language and policies and what to do for legal. That requires a lawyer. There are templates like services. Sarah, you have one that has some templates for things like disclosures also. But we're not lawyers, obviously, so we can't give you that kind of thing. But it does have a module where it talks about the things you need to do. Okay?
What I would do, Susie, and this is me, is I would go to my local authority, and I know that my customers come from Europe and they come from the US, and I have a small amount that come from Canada. So I would go and find how to set up a business in HMRC, which is the UK's tax place. I would find how to set up a business in something like the Better Business Bureau, which is in the US, and I would find the Canadian equivalent, and I would put links in and say, if you are unsure of whether you need to have a limited liability company, sole proprietorship, a partnership, or whatever the legal status is, talk to your federal or local tax office and they will advise you. You don't want to be advising people on things like that because I don't know if everybody's got personal liability insurance. I don't know if that's even a thing in the US. But if you're advising people on whether they need a sole proprietorship, etc., you could get in trouble for that. So just direct them. Make it easy for them to get the information by directing them to the specific ports of call for that information. And
Hopefully
saying,
that answers the question.
She's set up. She was just wondering if she was teaching someone else to set up. Absolutely. I totally get where you're coming from there. And we want to help our people as best as possible. And sometimes the best way that we can help them is saying, here's the local tax person or the federal tax person or the government tax person. They will advise you. And just having that link means you've covered that aspect of it, and then they can go and follow that up with whoever. Michelle says there's somebody called Amira, a self guru. She has all of her templates and she has wonderful reviews. My tax guy knows of her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you all know a legal person who would actually come in and do some talk for your group or your community. And obviously you would be an affiliate and promote that to your group for the templates that they may need for legal. Everybody will need their terms of business and their privacy policies, their refund policies, and so on. There's lots of lawyers that you can get in and interact with and get this information. You don't actually have to give it yourself.
And there are memberships that you could probably be an affiliate of that have forms, legal forms.
Okay.
Jane
Jane
had a question.
Yep. She says, how much overlap is there with start an online business and start your own business? I'll leave you to that one, Sharon.
Okay, so I don't have it in front of me, obviously, right now, but one is smaller and the start your own business is much, so covers a lot more. So there will be some overlap probably in the identifying your audience and identifying what business you want to do. Start your own business also covers other types. It's not just about an online business. You could be deciding that you want to do a service or an offline of some sort or a product. So it's broader in that sense, and it goes into more depth on different things. On the work from home is more about a smaller business that you can individually manage from your home. So there is no overlap. But you can find them.
Okay. Susie says, great idea. She has an online legal person who would love to do that. Miss Cheryl says she's not an affiliate. You just want to. Absolutely. But you could be an affiliate for her in your group. That's another way for you to earn a commission when you're teaching people. And you've got to think about your own profitability as well, because you're going to give these people a lot of time and attention. And if you don't think about your profitability and how you're going to price it, you're going to be exhausted by Christmas. And we don't want you exhausted. We want you to have a fanfare when you walk past the bank. So we've got the how to start a work from home business. And there's also the how to start an online store. And I've got them both on the screen here because they're both beacon products. So you get the slides for it, but you don't get the lead magnet materials. You don't get blog posts, which I love my blog posts. Bring them back, please. And there is student materials. You'll find that there are tweets in some of the packs. I can't remember if there's in these, but I know in other ones there have been tweets. So you do get a different range of materials. So if you're thinking that you want to do, say, a live workshop, then these two could be the thing for you. If you're doing something that's perhaps either a live workshop and you want all of the additional content like the lead magnets and all of that, then, you know, the Blaze packages give you those. So that's the primary difference. Then we've got testing.
And those
yeah, go on.
bonuses, those could be bonuses also. The how to start an online store and work from home. So if you're doing the larger one and start a business, people could get more if they know they want it to be work from home. So when they think about their business model in the course, you can have these others as more detailed bonuses.
Yeah, they could be perfect bonuses or add-on modules. So they might be able to, I don't know how it would work technically, but build their own course. So they can upgrade to add in additional modules if you wanted. But I like the idea of bonuses and giving a lot of value to our people. So testing your big idea is a flash one. So there's no slides with this. What's with it again, Sharon?
That's flash, so it's, I think, a report and maybe an outline. I can't remember, and probably some worksheets. If any of these, if you want to see the detail, because we're not going to go through all 28, you can click on the title to go to the sales page where you'll see the details of what's included, material, and screenshots. All right. So this one would be very good, again, as a complement to the starting a business one.
Yeah, and I've just opened that on a second screen, and the first thing Sharon says is this can easily be adapted to an email series or other format, and it comes in an introduction, 4 steps, and a conclusion. So you might want to actually deliver that one challenge style, or you might want to use that as a low price offering before you sell people to a bigger program. So they could say, come and do the big idea challenge, and you charge $10 for that. So then at the end of it, you sell them your bigger program. And that could be the Create Your Group Coaching or the Fast and Fearless information products. Again, these are both Blaze packs. So they come with heaps and heaps of content for you to do lots of things with. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, we can go with how to start your business step by step and have bonus modules like how to start a work from home business and how to start an online store. Or we could go in with testing your big idea, because these people may be having ideas but not quite knowing what to do with them. And then they can be upsold into creating a group coaching program or some information products from that. So you can see how they all slot in together. And it might be that their business model in the start your own business is group coaching or information products. It could be that they're building a personal brand. So you can see how they all slot in, and you can, it's like a pick and mix. I know you have pick and mix in the US because Sharon's told me. And
I think I've put them in, I think it worked out that they went in the order, because what I tried to do, but the plugin was giving us difficulty, is to put these in an order of how you would use them. So you need to go through the big steps of starting a business. They need to learn about branding. You'd have to scroll down to see, because with 28, I don't remember. Oh, sales funnels, they need to learn, and sales pages, things like that. Okay, so there is some order.
So there's build a personal brand, using the content for branding, sales funnel magic. And this is one of my favorite programs, Sales Funnel Magic. It really explains the sales funnel process, which lots of people go, oh, do I need a sales funnel? They're horrible. They make me vomit. And other people are like, oh, I can't do with a sales funnel. You don't need a website. You don't need this. You don't need that, blah, blah, blah. But Sales Funnel Magic is a really, I'm going to say, magical program that gently walks your person through the benefits of a sales funnel and how they can implement that in the business. So if you're never tried anything relating to sales funnel and you're a bit allergic to them, you might want to look at that for yourself, because it's a really good program. Then we've got another favorite from the Bright Sparks, how to build an email list from scratch. And that goes beautifully with the email copywriting essentials. So you can show them how to set up a list, and then you can show them what to write every week or every other day, or whatever their format for writing is, with email copywriting essentials. So there's some really good ones there. And that could be just a 6 weeks mastermind, that one. You can show them how to build their list in probably 2 weeks if you did that live, and then have another 4 weeks of email copywriting. So that's a really good program just on its own. Then we've got the other favorite, sales pages that convert. And if you've never done this program yourself, and it's just sitting there gathering dust on your hard drive, you need to go and unzip it and start looking at it, because lots of people are struggling to write these sales pages. Lots of people are struggling to sell their courses because they don't know how to write a sales page. So here's something that you can help them with, and it's an evergreen one. Not only is it very topical right now, but when things return to whatever our new normal is going to be, people are still going to need sales pages that convert. So it's a really good one. And again, it's a Blaze package. So you've got all of the blog, email, student materials, cheat sheets. I believe there's even a couple of nice little extras in there. So you're going to have a really good time with that one.
Yeah, I think there's a sample. I think there's a sample sales page in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got the low-cost marketing strategies. That was on launch. If you missed it, you're going to be kicking yourself, because that was really good. And that's got it did have a challenge in it, but you could take the report for the lead magnet, turn that into a challenge, kick yourself for not getting it done for you earlier, and make a mental note to pay attention to our launches. And you can do so much with the low-cost marketing strategies, particularly if you've got the sales pages and the email list from scratch and sales funnel magic. That all comes together to make a really nice program as well. But again, if you've got somebody just setting up a business, they're going to want low-cost marketing strategies too. So you can see they're like Lego bricks. They all slot together in such wonderful ways. You can build a truly magnificent curriculum here. Then we've got launch your product like a pro. Now, this is different to launch your course, okay?
Which is not in this.
Which is not in this. This is launching a product like a shop. It could be other products, but it's not the same as launching a course, which has been recently in some of the upsells that you can get and the other things on Content Sparks weekend specials. This is a different thing entirely. There's also the Fabulous. This was out earlier this year, and if you missed it, you can kick yourself again. Build your audience using social media. There's a lot of kickings going on here, isn't there? And lots of people.
And this would go hand in hand with obviously the launching of product. So part of launching your product is you need to build an audience and build buzz and things like that. So it will, as you build your audience, it's going to make your launch go that much more smoothly and effectively.
And even if you've got people who don't know what to do on social media, rather than having people say, oh, I need to use LinkedIn, I need to use Twitter, I need to use whatever, build your audience using social media teaches them the fundamentals of audience building that can be adapted to any platform. So you're teaching a really, really powerful skill here. And then, of course, you've got social media for networking, which makes a fabulous bonus for people who get the build your audience using social media. You may even use that as a webinar to get people into your build your audience using social media. So you can use them in different ways. There's also
you could do something like I've seen in a lot of programs where you have the module, that course, and then maybe you do a webinar, like Sarah said, where you cover another topic and call that a masterclass as a bonus. So you have a lot of bonuses that you add gradually. You're not going to release all of this at once for people. Right? Yep. So look at some of the beacon ones. The smaller is great for bonus master classes and putting in as that bonus. Okay. Can you hear me, or is my audio horrendous?
It's not horrendous. You're making us listen.
Okay.
So we've got the how to create a realistic content marketing plan. This is a good one. Again, it's an evergreen one. So if you've got people, if you're on a budget and you're not sure how to build your curriculum, I would go with topical things like build the business and some evergreen things like content marketing plans. So you've got some that people need ASAP, so they join, but things like content marketing plan, they do need that. They just don't prioritize that. The building the business is a bigger priority. So you can have some, what I'm saying here in this is evergreen, but I'm asking you to think, if somebody's going to be with you 6 months, what do they need 6 months in the future? Because once they've set up their business and they've got their low-cost marketing strategies in place and they've written their sales pages and they've got their email marketing up and running, what do they need then? Well, they actually need to make sure they're doing it realistically on a regular basis. And that includes things like attracting free publicity and getting interviewed on podcasts and how to find and interview influencers. So when you think of your curriculum, think of it as the big picture. You don't want them just setting up a business, marketing it. You've got to think what they're needing 6 months down the road or 7 months down the road. And these ones, like the realistic content marketing plan, free publicity, and getting interviewed on podcasts and finding influencers, are really incredibly wonderful blaze packs. So you've got a full funnel of content there, and it may be that your people come off, they do say low-cost marketing strategies, and then they decide they want to do more podcast interviews. And then you may have another group that want to do more influencer interviews. So you can sort of send them to a crossroads and get them to make a choice. So there's lots of good stuff. Then there's
think about your particular audit, because this is set up as a starting and growing. You're an online business, but it can work for other things. So if your audience already has a business, maybe you don't need those first ones. Maybe they're at the point where they're still early on, but they need to build their audience, or they have that, they need to focus on some of these active. So it's really important, that first of figuring out your audience and where they are and what they need, okay?
Mm-hmm. Then we've got good old blogging mastery. That's a staple for lots of us. And that goes really well with the introduction to SEO and keywords and the live video marketing, because somebody who's creating blog content needs to be found in the search engine, so they need the introduction to keywords and SEO, and they also need to know how they can repurpose all of that content, and live video marketing is an aspect of that. So if you're looking at something for established businesses to become more visible, then that makes a really nice little curriculum there. Oh, and I've just seen on-camera video basics pop up, and everybody needs that too. And that's a slightly smaller pack, so you might want to do a webinar, or Sharon's mentioned, a masterclass. It could be a bonus for getting all of the things done with your curriculum. If somebody buys all 3 components, then they get this as a basic bonus. So there's lots of options of how you package up your curriculum. You don't have to just give it to them all in course format. You can mix and match. There's the content management bootcamp and build a community around your brand. Again, both big blaze packs, both really good things for your customers. Customer onboarding after the sale. We were talking about this in the mastermind group, and I made the confession that until I started going through my blaze packs properly, I never did any customer onboarding. And then I started adding some of the blaze ones unedited into the follow-up sequence, and I found they were opened quite significantly. So it converted me from thinking that they were useless to actually thinking, gosh, this is really, really useful for the people. It's making them feel welcome in my community. And whilst they were welcome, I wasn't making them feel that way. So customer onboarding is a really good one. My version of this is called Follow-Up Junkie. So the last one is the customer experience journey. And this is a Blaze pack, and it helps people map out the entire customer experience, the touch points, and how people you would like them to progress through your organization. I say that sounds really, really poncy, but it's a really nice one of nurturing your leads rather than calling them leads and pushing them through a funnel experience. This is a more natural flow. And if you've got an audience that rebels against structure, the ideal customer experience journey is a really good one to show them that mapping out what the customer goes through at each stage and how you want them to feel about your business and how they interact with you is a really, really powerful way of actually showing them how this works. So I'm going to stop sharing and we'll come back to any questions.
The ideal customer experience journey is one of my favorites because it's something that can be used as a more advanced one for people that already have a business to go through and see where there's problems, where there's disconnects or miscommunications, and like Sarah said, it's how you want people to feel and interact with you and different people in your business throughout the journey. So it may not work for someone early on unless they're advanced enough to understand it. It's great for a little bit later to really take a look at how their business is working and how to refine it and get that experience right. Okay, so I want to make sure that's in there. Yes, Barb. Okay, we have to work on. It's something new we started doing also just a few months ago, doing these packs of blog posts and emails. And an email can always is the basis for a blog post. We will have another bundle coming out next month, just because you asked for
it. So there's a lot there in the build the curriculums. And if you follow the 5 steps that we said at the beginning, identifying your audience, uncovering where they're stuck and where they need to grow. And I'm going to have to go back and look at the infographic to remember the next one. Identifying the skills gap. Then your timing and how you spread out the delivery, and then of course how you actually deliver the course. Once you've thought about that, and it's not something that you think about for days and days and days, it's a case of who in my audience needs to grow a business, who in my audience would like to start a business. And if you've got a big following on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, or you've got a group, go and ask them. Say, who in here would like to grow their business? And then find out how many who are interested in growing. And if you've got 5 or 6 of them, say, who's interested in doing a Grow Your Business Challenge? And you've got the lead magnet reports, so you can take them out and do an activity each day and deliver that live in your group and then sell them the program. So you don't have to sit there and think to yourself, oh, I've got to spend 3 months mapping this out. The offer's going to be gone next week. Yeah, you've got to sit there and be proactive and say, right, who in my group needs to grow? Who in my group needs to start? Who can I help right now or in the next 10 days? And if you've got enough people, and when I say enough, if you've got 3 people paying you $5,000, that's enough. If you've got 20 people paying you $297, that's enough. It doesn't have to be a tiny number or a huge, great big number. It depends on how you price it. One of the things that I will say to you is possibly my most favorite product is prospect to paying client. And I knew all of the steps, and I had somebody come on a strategy call and said, can you teach me how to do this, blah, blah, blah. I need to know this. And Sharon had just released prospect to paying client. And I said, I'll teach it to you one-to-one. And she said, okay, how much is that? And I said it was £3,000, which is about $3,300. And then I went out and bought prospect to paying client on launch, which was about $97. So I made $3,200 profit for 4 weeks work. Okay. So that's paid for itself over and over again because I also recorded it and sold it as a course. So don't think to yourself, as in, I've got to do millions and millions of people in order to make a profit, because you can make a really good profit with the right one person and the right course for them and being able to teach it. Okay, so Susie says, I actually need to learn a lot of these things, not teach them. None of these courses is in my niche, organizing. I need to learn how to build a sales funnel, build my list, etc. I don't want to teach it. I want to learn it. Absolutely. You can learn it. And, you know, the other thing is you can learn it for yourself, apply it, and then apply it to your niche. So you can have how to build your email list the organized way. Yeah, because it can seem a little disorganized. It can be how to build a sales funnel the organized way. Yeah, so once you've learned how to do it and put it into plan, you can then adapt it to fit your niche of organizing, because digital organizing is a really big thing. I don't know if you picked up the digital declutter last week, but that's a really big thing. Lots of people have got really disorganized, disheveled, in my case, workspaces. So we need to learn to organize properly. And you can show them how to organize their list and how to organize their sales funnels. So you can learn it and turn it into something new if you wanted to, or you could just learn from it. And Susie's saying, yes, she bought that bundle. Yeah, lots of people liked it. And my husband didn't, because he said it was mandated trips to IKEA to buy boxes. And I'm like, yes, trips to IKEA. And Jane's saying, yes, it's Jane's style to do. I should imagine that's a challenge in a group and sell it to our audience. So there's lots you can do. We've covered lots here. If you've got questions, please do leave them. The link is on the bottom, contentsparks.com/custom bundle. Go and look through them. You'll find there's little boxes that you can click and you can see the individual pages. So if you want to see what's in them in complete breakdown, you can have a look. It opens in a new window so you don't lose the page, and you can have a look at it in some detail. And there are some bits that overlap, so you might have something in one course that's also in another one. It's usually the ideal client. But let me tell you, those things that do overlap are really important, and that's why they overlap. And it's also the area that people are most likely to skip. They say, oh, what do I need to do ideal client for my business? I know it's everybody with a pulse. And that's where you go, no, it's not everybody with a pulse. You have to be a bit more specific. Everybody with blonde hair and a pulse. And you have to make sure your people go through that, even if they think they know it, because quite often it's the little details that trip them up. It could be they've decided that everybody is their audience, even the ones without pulses, and that makes a big difference. So do look at where the overlaps are. Don't be tempted to skip them, because people learn best through repetition. So if they do ideal client in how to start a business, and they do ideal client in customer journey, ideal customer journey, it's still valid in both places. Don't think for 1 minute that they'll still remember it from 4 weeks previous, because they won't. And even if they do, the chances are they've skipped elements of it. So don't sit there and think, oh, it's got that in this and that in that. You need them in place in order to ensure that your person gets the best experience. And it could be when they first learnt from you, they weren't ready for the concept of ideal customer. They did all of the other things, but they sort of just glossed over in their mind the ideal customer. So when you teach it again in the ideal customer experience, they're ready and they're open for it. And quite often it's the missing part. Never mind they should have learned it 4 weeks back. No, never mind that. You have to be there for when they're ready to receive that information. We can't give it to them or make them learn it before they're ready. I believe you Americans have this wonderful lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah, but also it can change a bit as they learn more about their customer. It always makes sense to revisit things like that and remind them. So it could be 6 months later that you're doing something and you need to revisit. And Sarah, before we go, you might want to show how those boxes work and show the discount, how it increases at the bottom, just before we go.
Right, okay then. I've never pressed these buttons before, so this could be really exciting. Sarah breaks another website. So let's go back over and let's add things to our bundle. So let's say we want the start your own business, and then we want the how to work from home, start a store, and then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to want some start an email list from scratch. And what I'm looking for, there it is, low cost marketing strategies, launch like a pro, and some free publicity. Okay then, so I'm going to go down here and see what my thing is. And you can see it's totted it up as we go along. I've got my 60% discount, and that comes in at $711.60. And I've got, how many have I got in that? I've got at least 6, haven't I? I've got to have to go back up and count them now. Where are they?
So that saved $1,000 practically.
Yeah, 1, 2,
right,
3, 4, 5, 6. I've
and
got
you can
6
review it in the cart. Once you add to the cart, you can also review.
Yep.
So if you add it and you go to your cart, you'll see.
And it's got them here. My program's here. And if I get all the way down to the bottom, you can see it all there in my cart. I'll press my cart.
Oh, I'm not
button.
saying you need view. Yeah, view cart. Now you can see it.
Yep. So I can see them all here. And it's got some additional ones that I might be interested in. Autoresponder emails that convert. Yeah, that would be a really good add-on to email lists from scratch, particularly as I didn't in this bundle pick up the email copywriting. And they've got some other ones down here. Get more sales from your online store. I picked up the online store one in my bundle. Yep, where is it? Online store. And now they're going to want more sales once they've set it up. So, yeah, these have got, make sure you check through these. Oh, and an online store expansion pack. Even better. I like my expansion packs. So you can go through and see if there's anything that it recommends that you would like to add to your bundle. And that's a really nice feature there. I didn't know that was there. So Teresa's off. See you later. We hope you choose a really fantastic bundle. And yes, we're on LinkedIn, Michelle, Sharon Sheldon. Go and connect. Sarah Arrow, if you want to connect with me too. We're happy to connect with you over there. So go and have a play, build a bundle, think about how you're going to teach your curriculum. And if you sell all of those, mine was $711. If I sold all of those to one customer, I've made my money back straight away. Now, that's selling them very cheaply to my one customer. I think if I did all of those, I think that it would have to be at least $1,000 so I could give them a discount. So have a think about how quickly you can gain your return on investment. Okay, Rick says, you recommend to use Teachable. Should you add your
Hi, Michelle. Great to see you.
On multiple platforms? That would depend on the platforms, and it would depend on what the terms and conditions are. So if you were thinking of adding things to Udemy and other marketplaces that sell courses, that is a possibility. Remember, you're not allowed to use PLR on those platforms, so you do have to make sure that you customize it and brand it so it is your unique voice there. And I think maybe that's something we need to explore further, Sharon, the adding it into other marketplaces, because my instinct tells me no, because if I add it into, say, Teachable, and then I add it into my own site, and then I add it into somewhere else, that's 3 different platforms that I've got to market to. But there
I
are
wouldn't do it. Not payments, at least. Yeah.
There are places that I've got a friend who translates courses into Chinese. You send your course over to him, he can translate it into Chinese, and you get 50% of the sale. Obviously, you have to trust him to sell it and translate it and all of that. But that's an additional option for your course. So there are other ways, but my instinct is telling me that's 3 different platforms, that's 3 lots of marketing, that's tripling my workload. But I do think the marketplaces like Udemy may be worth exploring if there's 2 or 3 of them that you could put your courses on to bring in additional revenue. It's worth having. Bye, Michelle. Thank you so much for the feedback, Gold. Have a productive week, everyone. Elizabeth says, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Elizabeth. And Jane says,
good to see one. It looks like I'm about to lose everybody. I don't know if you can hear me, but my internet is up to die.
Well, in that case, we will love you and leave you all. Thanks for coming. Do go over and check out contentsparks.com custom bundle. If you're already a customer and you want to answer questions around curriculums and around what you can do with these and brainstorm some ideas, come into the customer Facebook group. We're happy to come in there and answer your questions and tag people like Jane and Barb, who have got super fantastic minds, who will be able to help you get the most from your curriculum. We want this to be the best end to a year you've ever had. And the only way you're going to do that is if you sell more than one course. So Sharon's made it easy for us all, and we can all go and sell lots of courses, lots of curriculums, masterminds, and really help the people that need it. Okay? So I'm going to shut up talking now.
All right. Bye, everyone.